There is no such thing as a tough loan. So I am joined by our head of underwriting and credit risk, Niraj Kumar, as well as our CEO and fearless leader, Pavan Agarwal. He's got some hot off the press news announcement to make. So,
well, first of all, Niraj has been disinvited to the Morgan Bowl party because he didn't wear his Morgan shirt today.
I'll wear it next time.
You've got a couple more weeks to redeem yourself.
Yes, you're no longer invited to the Morgan Bowl.
What do I do with the flight?
Now you'll have to sit in Irvine by yourself watching the Morgan commercial.
That's so excited to see that.
Oh, you haven't even seen like any of it, right? You haven't even seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's cool. I've been trickling a little bit here and there on social media. The person who did the music, he's a Grammy. He's like one of the best of the best. He's a Grammy award-winning artist. His name is Angel Cocopena. And so he's the brains behind people like Mark Anthony and Ricky Martin and so many others. And now he's the music behind. Now he's the music behind Morgan, right? And he's going to be a VIP guest at Morgan Bowl. He's a great guy. I actually sat down and I talked to him 15, 20 minutes. He's got such an amazing life story. It's like how he went from a kid learning music to being basically one of the greatest in the world. It's very inspirational, and we're going to put that clip out, that segment out on YouTube in the next week or so. I think everyone should watch it. I mean, if you're feeling like a little down in the dumps, if you think you can't get it done, if you're feeling discouraged, and right now a lot of people are feeling discouraged with the market, although we've had some rally in interest rates, which is good, but still, I've just met a lot of real estate agents and a lot of loan officers who are feeling very, very down. Watch that segment; it will pick you up.
And that's going to be on our YouTube channel this week.
Hopefully by the end of this week, that'll be on the YouTube channel. That's just a story of pure perseverance. Right? Never give up. That's the classic never give up story. And basically an unknown person, love of music from, when he was a child to the greatest. It's an amazing tale. So we got Morgan Bowl coming up in what? It's like 13 days, less than 2 weeks. We're counting down. It's going to be fun. Do we know it's Philly and Kansas City, right? That made it to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, I'm being careful this time. I'm not going to say the S word this time.
I didn't bring my buzzer.
Yes. I don't want to get in trouble with the football company. They're sticklers about
It shall not be named.
Yeah, we can't even say those 3 little letters because that's trademarked as well. We just call them the football company.
People know what we're talking about.
Except for those who don't watch football, and none of this matters. Then Morgan Bowl is not very interesting if you don't watch football. Other than the fact that it doesn't matter if Kansas City wins, or it doesn't matter if Philly wins. Morgan always wins. Because when you use Morgan, you're gonna win, because Morgan basically does all of, for a loan officer, it does all of your loan keeping for you. You literally just drop in your client's information and it will do everything from there. And for your realtors, for the realtors that are watching, it does all of your assistant, like the people that you have that does your lead management, the hours and hours and hours that you spend emailing, cold calling, tracking leads. Morgan does all of that for you. It's all automated. So it's an incredible value addition. I just had a call with a realtor today, and I explained to her how this works. She was so excited. She was doing backflips. She's like, "Oh my God, my business is going to go through the roof," and it will, because I know that as a realtor, like my parents were realtors. I grew up in real estate. You spend all of your time, first of all, you spend all your time out door knocking or in open houses or whatever, or advertising, and you generate leads, and then you spend the rest of your time chasing those leads. And you spend, for every 1 hour you spend generating lead, you spend 6 hours chasing those leads. Yeah, and my parents were top producers. They were like number one in their market, and so the reason they were number one is because they were very consistent and disciplined of staying on top of every single lead. And that's before email. That's back. I still remember. This is in the 70s. Had the rotary dials.
So it took even longer to follow up on the lead.
Oh yeah. Each call was a lot of work. Right. And I still remember the day the button phones came out. Right. And they were so happy, like, oh my God, I can do 10 times as many calls now.
You have a redial.
Yeah, and the redial button. Yes, they were thrilled about that redial button and the button phones. Right. So I remember those days. And these days it's like you got these advanced phone systems, which, by the way, SunWest has a very sophisticated phone system. We'd have to. We're a call center and loan servicing and all that. A lot of people don't know this, but that phone system is Morgan. It's integrated into Morgan. So it's so when you call SunWest and it routes and the auto attendant and all that, and when we have our campaigns, our outbound dialing campaigns and everything, that's all going through Morgan. So it is a state-of-the-art phone system that's integrated in Morgan, and it's one of the things that we're going to be releasing. So when you're a Morgan customer, you get the most advanced technology to manage your book, built in, all free. Well, not exactly free, because you still got to pay. You still got to pay the phone company their toll fees. But we are not charging any extra for the usage of the tech to do it. So that's not officially released. If you go to Morgan and says, I want to use a phone system, she's going to say, yeah, not ready yet, because we're only using it internally. We haven't released it in general, but it's coming out probably within the next quarter. The integrated phone system will be in Morgan. So your complete lead management, client management capabilities will be in Morgan for both the realtors and loan officers, and it's just going to propel your business through the roof. So a little bit of a spoiler. This is some of the things I was going to announce at Morgan Bowl. But the lucky few that are smart enough, I said the smart few that tune in and watch this live, to get as it happens.
That's the bonus of joining us live.
Right. And the other really bit of exciting news is Josh Altman. Josh Altman, the one of the greatest realtors in the universe, the star of $1 Million Listings. He just signed our endorsement deal. So he kicked it around. After I cold called him 6 months ago, he's been messing around with it, getting to understand. He doesn't do anything unless he knows what he's getting himself into. If he's going to put his name on something, it better be right. So after a lot of due diligence, right, he finally signed. He just signed. Literally, I just got the signed agreement an hour ago. So breaking news: Josh Altman endorses. Josh Altman endorses Morgan. So for all the loan officers and realtors out there, you want to know how to increase your business. This is it. This is the number one way to do it, you need AI. You need automation. That's the way to increase business. You got to touch more clients more often and faster.
Like agents can reduce the overhead, right, by using Morgan. Basically, they probably won't need the assistance anymore.
That's right. That's right. And right now, particularly important for real estate agents to get new technology in the door, because I don't know if you are aware of a new lawsuit that has been filed against the National Association of Realtors, which basically it's a lawsuit that is claiming a class action that is claiming antitrust violation. And a similar lawsuit was filed in the EU, and that it worked, and basically the Realtor Association, the Real Estate Association in Europe was effectively dismantled as a result of it. And this lawsuit has a lot of potential of working in the US as well. So realtors need to find new ways of being relevant, of making markets. Is the need for realtors doesn't go away. The ability to make money doesn't go away. It just changes. Right. Yeah. So you have to be smarter. You have to be nimble. You got to have the latest tools. Right. And you've got to open your mind and be ready to accept the direction the tech is going. So this and actually there's a segment you could find on Jason Oppenheim, another one of our partners. He was actually talking about this lawsuit. I forgot I think in Yahoo News. I think he was talking to Yahoo Business. So you could go look that up and you could hear the explanation on this. I think he called it real estate Armageddon. Being a little dramatic. It's not. It's just change. Change is good. Right. Gets us thinking about new ways and innovation. And you do need innovation. You need, it's here. I'm giving it to you. Anyways, I digress. We're here to talk about tough loans. I'm taking the spotlight away from Neeraj.
Let's do that.
Okay, so Neeraj, why are there no tough loans ever at SunWest?
Because we listen, right? We listen to the borrower, we listen to the client, and we actually empathize with what's happening in the borrower's life. Right? We have loans that are turned down by other lenders who actually, as a result, that they don't care the customer. Right? Some are simple thing as borrowers making sure that they are less than 25% owner of the business, where it would just take a phone call or a diligent person to look at it and not consider self-employed. And loan was turned down by a different lender. We got it. We were able to restructure it in the same day because we look at the file, each file independently, and also we try to look at it in a way how we can make that loan work. And so we were able to treat that borrower as a wage earner because literally as a phone call to the CPA and getting the K1 and treat him as a wage earner instead of self-employed, and was able to approve and close like in 15 days. All which right. Just couldn't do it.
So bottom line is you're saying is that there's no such thing as a tough loan because it's really binary, right? Either the loan meets the guidelines or it doesn't. Okay, and if you have the right tools and the right culture, you can determine that very quickly.
That's correct. It didn't take us. We got same day approval on that loan, closed in 15 days, and we were able to help the borrower with they're being affected by the negligence of the other lenders. It's just the right mindset here, right culture here at Sunwise.
Right. Yeah, you got to have the right people, right? Which you got Angel and you guys can't get better than more right than that. Okay, you gotta have the right culture, and that's a culture of, protect our customers, protect our consumers, right? And you need to have a culture of fair lending, because that customer who got denied a loan by other lenders, that's not fair lending. Right? He met the guidelines, right? It's just the lenders didn't take the effort to see that he met the guidelines. And so people with twists and turns in their financials, I wouldn't even say twists and turns. I mean, they're just living their life, right? That's their life. They're living it, and they're living a proper, honest, ethical life. Yet it doesn't fit the culture that the lending community likes to see. And the culture that lending community likes to see is a very simple, straightforward, 2 years W-2, 800 credit score. The things that you just drop into DU, you get an immediate approval. There's no work to do. That's the culture that the lending community likes. But that's not reality. That's reality for a percentage of the population. But more and more people are getting more creative and innovative about their income sources, about how they bank, about how they save. And if you don't take all that in, you're not being fair. So I personally believe that overlays are not fair. I think the overlays and declining loans like the one Nero just described. This kind of stuff, I mean, I don't have any specific scientific data on this, but from my experience, of countless decades and seeing thousands and thousands of loans, I would say that this sort of twists and turns happen mostly or more often in minority and underprivileged communities. And so they get adversely impacted just because they're living their lives the best and productive way they can find, which doesn't happen to fit with the way lenders perceive, what is simple.
And when you have the tech and the AI to be able to do it, we're able to offer that same experience, regardless of the twists and turns that people have in their lives.
While doing these loans, we are reviewing conditions same days, and we are approving files same day, 8 a.m. in the morning. And I have another scenario where it's a veteran, which was turned down by one of the lenders who is very dedicated to veteran. But it was with them for 30 days, and we got the loan. And veteran has 2 jobs, and second job doesn't meet the seasoning requirement. It's not long enough to use the income. So that's the reason that borrower was turned down. And the reason was correct, that the second job doesn't meet the seasoning. But when we looked at it, we found a way that borrower has a car loan, and we advised with the loan officer that if you can refinance the car loan into the wife's name, then we'll be able to reduce the debt to income ratio without using that income. So a veteran was able to do that within like a couple of days, and we closed that loan within like 14 days. And that includes paying off, refinancing our borrower's auto, and we follow the VA guidelines to the book, but at the same time, we value the veteran, so we always find a way how we can present it and make the loan work.
I think that's really the power of AI and technology, because one of the things that Morgan does, it does an automatic least cost path for every loan. So it runs through a zillion permutation combinations until it finds something that works. So that's how we can get them done so fast. And Morgan automatically suggests that, okay, this path works, and this path works. Right? So that when it comes to our executive underwriters, right, then the last final little tiny bit of human touch is say, okay, let's do it this way. Off we go.
All right. So here are our turn times. This is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pavan, but I think it's actually gotten faster already because these are return times the end of 2022. So we should be coming up on our next 100-day report card. But these are the numbers as of our last 100-day report card. So loans approved by 8 a.m., meaning you submit the loan by 8 p.m. You have your conditional approval by 8 a.m. the next morning. 99.8% of loans met that promise. And the turn times that you're looking at, regardless if you are a retail loan officer with SunWest or you're one of our wholesale broker partners, all of the tech, our processes, these turn times that you're looking at, it's all the same. So that's offered either way. And then those loans that were approved by 8 a.m., it's not just for those really easy slam dunk kind of files. Under 620 FICO score, over 30% of those loans were for the lower credit scores. Smaller down payments, 5% or less, almost 50% of those loans were for files with a 5% or less down payment, and over 50% were for first-time home buyers. Condition review is only getting faster. So actually 70% of all conditions that are submitted are reviewed in under 40 minutes. 95% are done in under 60 minutes, 99.5% are done in under 90 minutes. And that's continuing to chip away as the AI gets smarter and faster, which is happening every day, right, Pavan?
Every single day. And actually, it's a good thing Neeraj is on the call because he gets most of the credit for this. He's the one who designed the processes. He designed the direction of the AI and collected all the data, helped collect all the data and the rules and get it all in there. So, Morgan wouldn't exist today if not for Neeraj. So my hats off to Neeraj. Oh no, everyone's on my bald head now. Oops.
Neeraj, what was that process like for you?
It's. I think we have done pretty well keeping those turn times very low, and many of the income calculation and review that we have are kind of automated. So we don't need a lot of human power to do these jobs. So it is the AI, and we were able to turn around and make the decision quick. And whatever loans that needs additional review and exception and further review, then it comes to us, identify and comes to us very quickly. And we have a team of underwriters who will look at it and pick up the phone and try to find a resolution. Basically. So we're not here pushing the papers. We're trying to make the loan works, and we are working for the borrowers. And
I think that's a good point. A lot of people get worried about was AI going to take my job? And really the answer is no. AI frees you. Right. So you're not. It's like what Neeraj said. Is you're no longer pushing papers and doing. It takes away all the mechanical, redundant, the chores you do with whether it's underwriting or as a loan originator or whatever part of it. It takes all the chores away and automates the chores so that you can focus on what's the absolute most important, which is innovation, communication, creative thinking, out of the box thinking. AI is not creative. People don't understand AI is not like science fiction. Not these killer robots or anything like that. No, AI is just a fancy, it's just a machine that learns rules through data.
Underwriters get all these unique and difficult scenarios, and they actually, I would say, they are process engineers. Basically, they identify any gap in the process, and so that we can improve it. So along with helping the borrowers, right? That's the primary purpose. And at the same time, we're making the process better and better every day.
Yeah. So Neeraj is being modest. He's this mild-mannered, clean-cut guy with a deep voice is actually a genius. What he figured out how to do is to basically convert underwriters, really good, really smart underwriters, into people that train an AI. So as part of the normal work process. So as they work every day, they're training the AI. He introduced a couple extra steps that they follow, and everything they do, every decision they make gets captured, and how they made the decision gets captured, and that all gets fed and trained into the AI. And that's the brilliance and the genius of this. So every time we work and underwrite a file, every time we deal with a new exception or a new challenge, right, and we work through it, the AI got just that much faster and that much smarter.
That's another reason we can do difficult loans, because we don't have to spend time on the easy loans and waste time on the easy loan and focus on the loans that actually matters and need help.
Yeah, and you hear this a lot in the industry. When you talk to ops people, especially, is a loan gets declined or whatever, and they'll it's very kind of flippantly say, "Oh, that was a bad loan." I'm like, no such thing as a bad loan, right? Because those are real people behind that loan. You can't say that's a bad loan, right? Those aren't bad people. Right?
Well, there's no such loan as bad loan, right? We always guide the borrower when they can apply, and if we can approve it. We explain the reason why we can approve it, and we can tell them what they need to improve, what they can do better in like 6 months or 3 months or a year, right? Then we're always there, right? So our job is to make sure that they meet their American dream, right? They get their American dream of home ownership, and we are there to support them. Even if we decline it, we give them a lot of information on what they can do.
Yeah, and I don't even know if this is an American dream. I think it's more of a human dream, because if you don't own land, you're just burning money. And if you just start from the beginning of humanity, is the wealth and always rest in the people who own the land, own and control the land. So if you want to create wealth, if you've never rented, if your family has never owned your house, and you want to say, hey, we need to end this cycle of poverty. I want to see my family and my future generations expand and grow. Then start by first owning your house. Okay, and you plant the flag, you own the house, now you own an asset, and that's going to last you a lifetime. And it's going to, and it should, it always has. Can't predict the future, but my crystal ball tells me it's going to, the next 30 years is going to be worth a lot more money than whatever it is worth today. Right? In the last census I read that the population of the U.S. is growing about 1% to 2% a year. And there's only a fixed amount of land. Right? So as the population continues to grow, the value is going to keep going up.
Just to add that we do a lot of manual underwrites. We are not afraid to do manual underwrites. Many of our loans are manual underwrites, and we just don't look at the credit and reject it. Right? Like many lenders would do, just look at the credit and it doesn't meet the requirement, reject it. We would listen to the borrower, what their circumstances are, and we will look at case by case basis on what might have happened to this borrower. It is an isolated incident, or it is something that probably won't happen. Right? So there's many manuals that nobody would have done, that we have done so many of those manuals. Why borrowers turn on lates and recent lates, where they're veterans and shouldn't be late, and also with the medical collection, different collection. So we try to understand what might have transpired for those accounts. And we always looked at independently of the set of rules, each individual scenario. And we always try to make it work in terms of as long as the deal makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, Angel, can you put that slide back up there with the turn times?
All right. I think Morgan could have done that faster.
I think so too. So I think the magic number is that first one, loans approved by 8 a.m. That means if you had submitted a complex loan with K1s, this, that, 25% self-employed, right? That loan, 99.8% of the time, only 0.2%, that would have been approved by 8 a.m. the next morning. Right? And it doesn't matter how much volume we get. It's because it's so automated.
Yeah, that's another question that comes up a lot is what does volume do to these turn times?
Nothing.
Just that.
Because we just released some upgrades to Morgan's brain recently, and got more upgrades coming out throughout the month of February. That's going to further automate how documents and conditions are processed and loans are reviewed. So, it's basically infinite scalability.
And that allows our, originators or originators that partner with us to really be able to expand their pool of potential borrowers as well. The low credit score, no credit score, low down payment. Now originators and realtors are able to better support those types of borrowers.
So all the things Nero was talking about with, these kind of different kind of manual underwrites and all that stuff. The reason we can do it is because the AI does almost all the work before it actually hits a human underwriter. And that's why we're able to do 99.8%. I mean, just think about it, 0.2%. Right? 0.2% is what? It's 2 loans out of 1,000, right? That don't meet the 8 a.m. cutoff. Think about how rare that is. 2 out of 1,000. Okay. So even with all the different kinds of complex deals, we can hit the turn times. Right? So we don't, like other lenders would say, oh, you send us a tough loan, send us an easier loan, whatever. We don't. Everything's easy. For us, it's all easy. Send us all the loans, whatever it is. We'll do it all. They all go through fast. All loans go through in days. And the only time a loan gets delayed is if there's, a delay in getting, maybe the seller doesn't want to close on time, or maybe, the borrower is not submitting the conditions that are needed, right? And even then, we have a team, what we call Morganistas. Do you have the Morganista slide?
I have the Morganista slide.
So
yeah.
we have a team of wonderful, very wonderful people. They're all bilingual. They work really hard. They work in multiple shifts, and they get coverage from basically, 8 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Pacific. And they're talking to customers and realtors and title companies and whoever needs to be, and they're relentlessly chasing people down to get documents needed to get the transaction closed. And that's the secret. And they are just nonstop. They love what they do. That's the best part about Morganistas, is they love what they do, and it shows. And people are just, our customers are just thrilled with them because they never miss a follow-up.
And that's an important point too. I think sometimes, people are used to other types of assistance, of AI assistance, and then they worry because we all know how frustrating it can be to end up in one of those chatbot loops, or sorry, I don't know that one, and then you're stuck. And so sometimes there is a concern I'll hear from people of, can I trust Morgan with my client? And there is a level of human oversight that is there guiding Morgan and training Morgan along the way. So there's not that risk of your client having a frustrating experience.
Can you see that? All of you watching this this live stream, check it out. Morgan Bowl, slmc.com/Morgan Bowl. The party's at my house. My house in Dorado Beach, Puerto Rico. Go on Morgan Bowl and register. We already have like 300 plus people registered. The entire Dorado Beach Ritz-Carlton community is coming here. It's a funny story on this because when we decided to have this party, we thought, oh my God, and everybody has a Super Bowl party. No one's going to show up. And well, everyone else was thinking the same thing. So no one set up a Super Bowl party thinking, no one will show up. So then we announced it, and then everyone registered to this one. Everyone was like, yeah, let's do it, because no one else had decided to do a Super Bowl party because everyone was waiting on everyone else. So now the entire Dorado Beach community is going to be here, plus our realtors and loan officers in Puerto Rico, and obviously our staff. We've got SunWest loan officers are flying in from all over the country to be in this to come to attend the event. We also have Ivan Paz Rodriguez, the number one catcher in the world. I think we talked earlier about Angel Pena, the number one, Grammy Award-winning musician. We have other celebrities that are coming, which I will announce once they're absolutely confirmed. Some pretty big, interesting A-listers would be there. Governor Alejandro Garcia, former governor of Puerto Rico. He was actually governor when we moved to Puerto Rico, and he actually welcomed us to the island. So he's very special for us. He's going to be at the event as well.
Will the Morganistas be there?
The Morganistas will absolutely be there. And we also have some real ballerinas that are going to be there. We have a ballet performance before the big game starts. We got 3 floors of fun. So, because you didn't wear your T-shirt, you're not going to be able to go in. You're off the invite list, Neeraj.
Invite list. Please don't do that. I'll wear it next time.
we have 3 floors of fun. We even have a 2-story water slide for the kids. Wow. And for me. So let me tell you the story. I actually built a 2-story water slide in my house. And I don't know if you remember this movie. Oh, you were way too young. This movie that came out in the early 90s. You weren't even born then. Neeraj probably was born then. It was called Blank Check. I don't know if it was a Disney movie.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So there's this kid who buys his house. He finds $1 million and he buys his house, and then he builds a water slide from the 2nd story down to the pool. And I said, ever since I saw that movie, I was like, I'm going to have one of those one day.
Dreams do come true, ladies and gentlemen.
So I built it. So on my 2nd floor down to the pool, we got a water slide.
Even Pete's excited. He wants
to go to Morgan Bowl.
He wants to go to Morgan
Bowl. What's his name?
It's Peter.
Peter. Let's see Peter. There he is.
Cameo.
All right.
So if people want to go to the Morgan Bowl and check out this infamous water slide, what do they do?
You just come here on the site and scroll down and register. And we will do a Secret Service check on you. And if you pass, if you have security clearance, then you'll be given a formal invite. We got some of the biggest realtors from Texas and Florida flying in, just for the party. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
You're going to end up having to do this every year.
I guess so. We'll just have to have a new ad in the big football game every year. That's exciting. The ad is super exciting. Where we're heading with Morgan is super. I had someone call me up yesterday. A friend of mine works at a competitor, not really a competitor, just at another mortgage company, and he was asking if we would license Morgan to them. I said, you're a friend. I would do it for you. Since you asked, I would do it for you. But I have to say no, because it's too big a distraction trying to set up, set up another lender on it, when we have such bigger plans for Morgan than to simply license it to other lenders. So the bottom line is no, we're not licensing to other lenders. That question came up at the New England conference at the Mortgage Expo. We had a number of lenders asking whether they can license it, and the answer is no. But we are giving or licensing Morgan to banks that want to participate in our blockchain network. Okay, so it's only for banks though, because we need more FDIC insured banks on the network for controlling the fund movement. So we do have, right now we're in the talks with about 10 different banks. We're in that process, and our goal is to have over 400 banks on the Morgan network, on the Morgan blockchain this year. I'm pretty sure we're going to achieve that goal. I have a lot of momentum on that. So between that and some pretty exciting announcements that are coming out at Morgan Bowl on the 12th, the real, the goal is that this year every American is going to have Morgan at their fingertips. Some very
why wouldn't you? The free assistant, 24 hours a day.
Exactly. It's your free personal AI assistant. Anything you want, she'll do for you.
Genie in the pocket.
That reminds me of another movie. Should we talk about one last movie before we exit?
We've got time for one last movie reference.
One last movie. You may have seen this one. This might be in your time. It was a movie with Glenn Close and what's her name? Forgot her name. It's called Devil Wears Prada. Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway and Glenn Close, right? And so Anne Hathaway was her assistant, was her human Morgan. And she was, basically at Glenn Close's disposal 24/7. And Glenn Close said, "I want another latte," and Anne Hathaway go run and get her latte.
If I remember correctly, Anne Hathaway did make mistakes. That's what Morgan won't do.
She made a lot of mistakes, exactly. And sometimes she got mad at Glenn Close and turned the phone off, said, "I'm not going to answer you anymore." Morgan doesn't get mad.
Oh.
Morgan's always there. It doesn't matter what you say to Morgan. Morgan will always love you. You can ask if you're in Morgan right now. If you're watching this, you're in Morgan. Go in there and ask her if she loves you. See what she says. And have some fun with her. And don't forget, if you're in Morgan right now, you're watching this, you can only watch this through Morgan, and ask her for a t-shirt. She gives you these t-shirts for free. So enjoy, have fun with her. She's loads of fun, and we have some games coming out in Morgan as well, so you can go to Morgan and play games. Got some really fun, cool games with prizes. Our games have prizes. So if you win a prize, yes, you could win a Morgan t-shirt. You could win even a Pudge autograph baseball, Pudge autograph bats. You might be able to win one of these cool caps. Yeah, there's lots of interesting prizes you could win by playing Morgan games.
with all the time she's freed up for you. Then you can dig it. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining, spending a little time with us this afternoon. Thank you, Niraj, our special guest.
Thank you, Angel.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you.